Play is a difficult term to define because it changes so much from one culture to another. So this is why there is no universal definition of play. However, you will find many common features of children playing if they work in the field, or if they go to preschool, or if they're at home. You will find some common characteristics that happen around the same ages. I always like to look at play with cultural perspectives, because when I did my research on play interactions in immigrant South Asian families, I realized the influence that culture has on play. So I saw that different cultures play differently, and I also worked in a few preschools, and I saw children from different parts of the world and how they interact with the teachers and the parents. And it was fascinating to me how it was different from one child from different culture to another. Play is valued differently from one culture to another, because in some cultures people value other things more, such academic achievements. It's just something that is part of the culture. And in some cultures, parents are less likely to be play partners for their children because there are other children to play with, or the parents are busy at work, or the grandparents take care of the children. So children are everywhere, whether if you're here in Vancouver or in Shanghai or Mexico or India, you will see children, and they will probably be playing. The characteristic of the play will vary differently from one place and culture to another. However, there are some common features that unify play. Children will imitate people they are close to, such as their siblings or parents or grandparents, and they will laugh while they play, and their interest in play will change as they grow older. So through play, and especially pretend play, children are able to engage with the world and resources and other children or people around them, and it helps them to develop memory and reasoning and abstract thought. So during play, children have the opportunities to practice many different behaviors that could be useful for them in problem solving in the future. So peer interactions provide opportunities for children to regulate their emotions and to develop an understanding of social norms and expectations. Through play, children manage to interact with the world, people, and other resources around them. These interactions help the children to cope with other problems and challenges outside of the play world. This is why it's important to give time for children to interact with other children and to socialize with their peers to develop relationships and friendships. So pretend play usually starts by age 18 months, so for some children a little bit earlier or after. And by age 3, most of the children are engaged in pretend play, and it continues through the childhood and kind of disappears in the middle childhood parts of their lives. So when I was little, my grandmother used to collect cottage cheese containers for all of her grandchildren, and that was our favorite toy, even though she had other real toys in her house. But we always liked this one because we could create different shapes or build it to different heights, and also every time we had more and more cottage cheese containers. And this is how I realized that we don't really need brand new toys to be happy and to develop skills we need in order to grow up. So children can play with every object that they found accessible in their environments, such as food or boxes or bowls, and it doesn't necessarily have to be something that is defined as a toy by society. It really helps them to develop independence and creative thought. Through that, they could take objects and turn them to something else. For example, they can take a pen and turn it into a phone. They could take a bowl and turn it into a hat, or a blanket into a dress, and there's many more examples. And through that, their creativity is growing. So play is very important, especially for the child's development. It's important for their cognitive development, for the physical development, language development, and social and emotional development.